give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before I start building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all got about an hour on this wonderful Saturday morning to chop it up with the kid, man. Got, I want to talk about health today, man. Health and fitness, especially in regards to black men, is the subject matter for today. I feel like black men, man, we need to start taking our health a lot more seriously. I mean, because they striving to wipe us out on that level, and man, and we not making it hard for them to do it. We making it fairly easy for them to wipe us out when it comes to the nutritional genocide that's out here. We making it real easy. It's not that complicated, man. We making it real easy via our decisions out here. Evan, peace. What's the word with you? Anais, peace. Queen, what's happening? Airview, peace. What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? What's the word? Yeah, we don't make it complicated for them out here, man. We tend to make some terrible decisions collectively as a group. And black men is who I'm referring to. Lindell, what's the word? Just due to my experience as a trainer, the stubbornness when it comes to like black men and health is real in the field, man. Most of the time, as I've stated, when it comes to suggestions that I make in regards to changing up the nutrition or changing up the diet, however you want to refer to it as, 99.9 times out of 10, the black women are more receptive to that information, to those recommendations than black men. Man, I get met with a lot of resistance, or dudes that just flat out just lie or not do what it is that I recommend or suggest that they do, and then wonder why like the scale ain't going down, or they just keep complaining about these health conditions and the medication that they own, but they can't put down the beer, they can't put down the liquor, they can't put down the meat, they can't put down the cheese, things like that. So a lot of times, man, in my experience, somebody else's experience could be different, but in my experience, the women are more receptive to that change than the men. Like when the men reach a certain age or a certain point in their life, man, they not trying to listen to another dude tell them what not to eat, what to eat. And that is creating a lot of problems. That is creating a multitude of problems. Like, humble yourself. If you are a grown man and nutrition and fitness is not your line of work, is not your field, please listen to somebody that this is what we do. Like, this is something that I do. Definitely not trying to steer my brother in the wrong direction. But you gotta drop the ego. You gotta eliminate the stubbornness. Because at the end of the day, man, I can't force you to make a change. You gotta want to make that change. You gotta be receptive to the recommendations and to the suggestions. And a lot of times that's not the case. I don't want to say never, but that's not the case. And collectively, man, we have a lot of ailments that we suffer from as black men. Have a lot of ailments that we suffer from. And a lot of times we not doing what's necessary on a consistent basis to reverse or prevent these ailments. So again, we end up on all these medications and whatnot, man. And that the medications, as we all know, just making matters worse for the condition. You know, so we need to do a better job in regards to changing up the way that we eat. And then even when we go to the gym, like a lot of brothers, even when they work out and go to the gym, the routine that they are following is horrible. A lot of times dudes just go to the gym and they just want to do all upper body. They want to do arms and chest. When it comes to things that strengthen the lower back or the legs, it's like dudes don't want to get down and dirty with those type of movements, exercises, or routines. It's like, nah, man, you got to deal in equality with the body. You can't just overly train your upper body or your chest and your arms and neglect your legs and your back. Your legs, your back, your hips, your glutes, all that stuff is more important than building up a big chest and biceps. But we neglect the most important parts of the body even when we are working out. So if you analyze people working out, man, you see a typical dude in the gym. He probably is following a very trash routine that revolves around upper body, neglecting the foundation, neglecting the core. You can't neglect the core, man. You not strong. If you out here, you think you strong because you bench pressing 300 pounds, but your core is weak. Your legs are weak. You're not strong, man. You're not strong. Oh, nice, for sure, man. It's a lot of things that must be factored in before a man strives to change. But it starts with that mind, that mentality, that mindset. Just Peach Queen, what's happening? It starts with that mindset. The mindset is definitely the most important thing. Paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? You got to reprogram the mind, because we have been conditioned to believe that as a man, we have to eat a certain type of way. As a man, we have to eat certain foods. You know what I'm saying? So we have been conditioned to say, man, if you ain't got no meat on that plate, then you're not eating like a man out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have a bunch of potatoes and meat on that plate, then the plate ain't manly. So that's how we have been conditioned, man. If you just got veggies and a sweet potato or something on that plate, then they gonna look at you like, man, that's a feminine plate. Like, you're soft. You ain't a man. You ain't eating like a man. You need some real food. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all have heard this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So we got to reprogram. We got to reprogram. We got to unlearn. We got to unlearn, man. We got to eliminate that conditioning, because that conditioning is what's killing us. Thinking that we got to have certain things on the plate because that defines us as a man. Y'all know it's steak and potatoes. That's what a man eat. You know what I'm saying? You go out to eat, you got to get the steak and potatoes. No, that's one of the most unhealthiest combinations on the planet, steak and potatoes. But when we go somewhere, that's what we have been conditioned to get. That's the meal for a man. Like, when I used to go out to eat with my pops, dude used to order steak and potatoes. So I just thought that that's what a man was supposed to eat. So when I got of age, I started ordering steak and potatoes. I'm like, all right, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like a man, because I'm eating the steak and potatoes. Everybody else getting the fancy pastas or whatever. Give me the steak and potatoes. I identified that with manhood. Let me eat this steak and potatoes. It's a man meal. When I go out to eat, give me the steak and potatoes. I don't want nothing else. It's steak and potatoes. Not knowing the damage that that's causing with. Not knowing that you ain't supposed to combine that animal protein with that heavy starch, which would be the potato. Not knowing the damage that that's causing to my digestive system. I'm not understanding that at the time, because I'm programming, I'm conditioned. You can't just have some veggies. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have some fruits. That ain't how a man eats. See, that conditioning and that programming is what's killing us. It's what's killing us. It is what's killing us. It's the reason why a lot of black men are on all type of medications for high blood pressure, diabetes, heart conditions. Like, we facing all of those issues at a high rate. At a high rate. And when you look around and you analyze the black men that are facing these conditions, and you try to see what type of lifestyle changes that a lot of them are making to reverse it, they not making any lifestyle changes. I know plenty of black men that's on a lot of different medications, and they are still eating the same way that they were eating before they even had the conditions. And then get mad that they on the medication and things ain't changing for them. Dude, you can't be eating the same way. You eating the same, listen, you are eating the same diet that resulted in the condition that you're trying to reverse while you have the condition, and you think it's supposed to reverse itself. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Air view for sure. Meat is associated with manhood. A lot of times, man, and I talk, listen, in my experience, a lot of women tell me out the gate, they was like, man, I don't have to eat meat. You know what I'm saying? Letting go of meat is not a problem. A lot of women tell me that out the gate. They was like, I really don't even eat that much meat anyway. I don't have to eat meat. That is the typical song and dance when I'm talking to a woman client. I don't have to eat meat. My moms even say that. I don't really need to eat meat. On the flip side, when you talk to a man, they not saying that. When you talk to a black man, they not finna come out and tell me, I don't need to eat meat. No. We have been programmed differently. A woman can tell you, like, man, I don't have to eat meat. I don't really even be wanting to meat like that. Basically, the woman be eating the meat because she's probably with a man and the man wants the meat. So she cooking the meat for the man. But the woman is like, I don't have to eat it. Those are the type of conversations that I typically have with women. They can let go of the meat instantly. It's just like they may be in a situation or a relationship with a man, and that man is programmed to say, we need to eat meat. I need to eat meat, so you got to cook this meat for me, for us. So that's the reason why she's cooking the meat. But a lot of women tell me out the gate, I don't need to eat meat. I don't have to eat meat every day. I can easily drop the meat. Now, a lot of women struggle with the cheese, but when it comes to the meat, man, a lot of women tell me out the gate, I can easily let go of the meat. But the dudes, on the other hand, no. Dude ain't said that to me. God is peace, queen. What's happening? Yeah, I don't have that same. I don't get that same type of energy from men. Men looking at me when I tell them to lay off the meat for a minute. They looking at me like they have seen a ghost or something. Like that's impossible. Like, what you mean I gotta let go of the meat? What you mean don't eat meat but every other day? What you mean go a day without meat? What you mean go a week without meat? Like, what are you talking about? We gotta have meat. That meat is associated with manhood, man. And that's incorrect. That's incorrect. Nothing that brings on your destruction should be associated with manhood. Nothing that can result in disease and illness should be associated with manhood. That's incorrect. That's not right and exact. But that's the association there. Antoinette, peace queen, what's happening? If you're not consuming the meat, you're not a man. Wayne, peace, what's happening? For sure the mental and physical. Got to make sure they are in alignment. You know what I'm saying? Got to make sure the physical and the mental are in alignment. And a lot of times they are not in alignment, especially when it comes to men out here. We either suppressing emotions or we just making terrible decisions. One or the other. Or we doing both. But we make, like, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to just taking care of our body, we make terrible decisions, and we got to chill. My brother Antonio, peace, what's happening, my brother? Yeah, for sure. The family, you know what I'm saying? The family gonna always criticize, especially when they know the changes that you making are something that they need to do or something that they need to implement. So they gonna be envious. They gonna be jealous. That's unfortunate that it got to come from family members, man, but that's how I roll. That's how I roll. Create strategy. Peace. What's happening? King Ramsey, for sure. That's a good book. Africa, the holistic health book that he got, that's also a good joint. Air viewing was crazy. The craziest thing about this though, one of the most popular cartoon figures of all time, that's a man, did not consume meat. When we talk about a man and strength and cartoon, the first one that should come to mind is Popeye. What did he eat? My man ate spinach. So it's like, it's crazy when you really think about it. One of the most popular cartoons of way back in the day was Popeye, and that man ate greens. So they threw it kind of right in our face, and we just like ignored it. But when you think Popeye, that's associated with spinach. You don't hear Popeye and think of chicken, turkey, pork. No, you hear Popeye and you think spinach. You think green. That's what gave him his strength. So it was literally this is probably my people's age, like my parents, it was literally right in their face. Popeye, spinach. He was gaining his strength from spinach, from greens. It was right in his face. Right in our face, so it's crazy. We had the answer right there in our face. We just overlooked it. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like, man, what did Popeye consume to get his strength? It was spinach. It was something that was green. Something that's green. And we can already go into nature and see plenty of plant-based animals in nature. And then people like to point out the 0.01% of insects that these animals consume, acting like that's where they get their strength from. No, these animals they 99% plant-based. They 99% eating plants and fruits. That's where they getting all their strength from. But people want to bring up the argument, well, they eat insects sometimes. Yeah, it's like maybe 1% of what they consume. 1%. 1% that they don't even really need. But yeah, when you think of Popeye, man, that's Popeye, strong, man, spinach. But somewhere down the line, like, we ignored that message. We lost that message. We didn't internalize that message. So it's crazy when you really think about it, because again, everybody knows Popeye, man. Everybody knows Popeye, and everybody knows what he was associated with. Everybody knows spinach and Popeye, the connection. That's crazy. And air review, there we go. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like if I told somebody to substitute meat, like if I told a black man to substitute meat for with spinach, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. They'll look at me like I'm crazy. They'll act like they gonna starve. And that's another myth that actually kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. People acting like they gonna starve when they go plant-based. First of all, you can go weeks without consuming any food. So the fact that I'm not even telling you to not consume food, I'm just telling you to change the things that you are eating, eat more fruits and veggies, and you still act like you're gonna starve. Like that, all those hunger pains that you feeling, most of the times that's your body crying out for water. And it's either A, your body crying out for water, or B, it's like you program and condition to associate certain things with eating. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, so like even a certain time of the day, like in the morning time, we are conditioned to think of what? Breakfast. So when you associate morning time with breakfast, a lot of times when you wake up in the morning, your stomach gonna start sending off those signals, which would be your stomach growling. That don't necessarily mean that you are actually hungry and starving. It just means your mind and body have associated morning time with eating. So again, people don't understand that the mind is actually lazy. The mind is lazy. The mind doesn't want to put in a lot of work. So the mind is always striving to peep patterns. So if you continue to get up every day and you in the morning time you eating, the mind is going to say, okay, now this is a habit. So every time we get up, we eat. So your mind is going to create a shortcut. So now every time you get up, instead of you having to feel like you're forcing yourself, your mind going to send off that signal. Boom. Get you something to eat. Stomach going to growl. That's how the mind and body works, man. The body and mind are not trying to put in a lot of work. That body and mind trying to work smarter, not harder. So if your mind is peeping at that, okay, man, every time you get up in the morning, every time you wake up, you eat. So your mind gonna help you out. Your mind gonna help you out like, cool. Every time we get up, I'm gonna send off a signal. I'm gonna have your stomach growl. Now we working smarter, not harder. So now you ain't gotta wonder if it's time to eat. I'm gonna let you know it's time to eat because I have associated awakening with eating. So I'm gonna send off the signals as soon as you wake up. So now you think that you hungry. No, that's conditioning. That's habit. You gotta learn to break the habit. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people associate stomach growling and all of that with hunger. No, you really feel the hunger in the mouth, not the actual stomach, and people don't know that, man. It's all programming. It's all conditioning. Y'all know about Pavlov's dogs. Y'all know about that science experiment when they associated the white coats and the ringing of the bell with food, so they start salivating when they saw the white coats and the bell went off and things like that. Y'all know about that experiment. That's how we are. That's how we are. We associate certain things with it's time to eat. You get off work. If you get off work, and your routine or your ritual is I get off work, go home and eat. Well, guess what? You program in the body, you program in the mind. So it's like, all right, now it's around 6 o'clock. This is the time I typically get off. Stomach gonna start growling, sending off those signals. Because now it's programming condition. And the mind and body, it want to work smarter, not harder. It don't want you to have to think about what time I should eat every day. It's programming itself to send off the signals around the same time each day. So every time you come across the trigger, guess what? That hunger pain is now being released. So now you are associating it with hunger. And that's incorrect. That's incorrect. You have programmed yourself to send off those signals at the same time each day or when you come across these triggers. Again, if you are an emotional eater, that's a trigger, but it's programming. So you think when you get emotional, you hungry. You're not hungry. Your body and mind just has associated hunger with emotions. So every time I get emotional, I eat. So when you do that enough times, the mind is like, okay, cool. Every time we get emotional, we grab food. So then when you get emotional, the mind gonna be like, boom, send off a hunger signal. Let her know it's time to eat. Let them know it's time to eat. They emotional. This is typically when we grab food. That's the body working smarter, not harder. So you gotta watch what you do. You gotta watch the type of habits you form. You gotta watch what type of habits you form, because again, man, the mind, listen, it's gonna accept whatever it is you do. It's gonna accept whatever it is you do repeatedly, and it's gonna make a habit out of that. So you gotta watch what you do. You gotta watch what you do out here. You gotta pay attention to be mindful. Sweet Tea, peace, what's happening? Terrell, peace, what's the word? What's the word? Coach Shun, you say, nah, I don't fool with it. Yeah, I don't fool with it. I don't consume it. Oh, guys, Queen, don't even get me started. Please don't get me started. Well, matter of fact, you gonna get me started. You said the most unhealthy people are the people in the church, and they pray over the food. I actually understand why. Now I know why. I don't understand. I know why that's the case. Because again, the Old Testament actually gives you the proper dietary laws. The Old Testament is like writing example. If people was to follow the dietary laws in the Old Testament, they might be writing exact. It is the New Testament that came out and caused confusion. And that's the reason why a lot of people feel like they could just pray over the food and it makes it clean. That happened in the New Testament. That is where the confusion came into play. But if you follow the Old Testament and you do the knowledge to the Old Testament, it's literally giving you some proper dietary advice, or guidelines, I should say. The New Testament came in and deemed everything that was once unclean, deemed it clean. Just pray over the joint. Things along those lines. That's all New Testament doing, for the most part. And that's crazy, because a lot of people don't understand. When they see that you don't eat pork, they think that that's Muslim. It's really supposed to be your way of life. It's really supposed to be the way of life of a Christian, a Baptist, whoever it is that follows the Bible. So when people follow the Bible, when they a Christian, Catholic, Baptist, whatever they are, and they look at you and see that you don't eat pork and say you a Muslim, it's really supposed to be their way of life. They actually the ones that's not supposed to be eating the pork. They don't be knowing that at all. Zeke and some people, not everybody is an emotional eater, but like I said, it's all about your programming. So you may have other things that send off the hunger signals. Like me, like emotions ain't necessarily something that send off the hunger signals for me. But I have a lot of people, and this typically affects women. A lot of women are emotional eaters. They stress eaters. So you have some people that when they get stressed out, when they get emotional, they ready to eat. You have other people that get stressed out and emotional, and they don't want to eat. So you got two people. You got two people. They want to eat when they get stressed out and emotional. So then they end up gaining weight. And then you got the people that do not want to eat when they stressed out and emotional. They end up losing weight, becoming, becoming frail and fragile. Oh, nice, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the Old Testament right there in Genesis gives you a good guideline. But how many religious people are following anything in that book? How many people that subscribe to the Bible are following anything in that book to a T? Not many of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's not surprising. That's not surprising that when you inform a Christian that, hey, the not eating pork thing is actually in the Bible, that they be like, what are you talking about? But they just want to associate it with Islam. They want to associate it with being a Muslim. Like, nah, like a true Christian ain't supposed to be eating pork neither. A true Baptist is not supposed to be eating pork neither. Like, y'all not really supposed to be eating pork as well. So it's not just something that should be associated with being a Muslim. Oh, Terrell, for sure, man. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Good to hear everything is good. But yeah, man, we gotta do better, man. That's why I say, man, dietary guidelines and restrictions are very necessary. We be lacking the discipline because we don't have any guidelines. That's why I went vegan. It's like when you go vegan, when you tell yourself, hey, I'm going vegan, there are certain things that's just off limits. Like I can't eat, like I don't eat the dairy products. Like I don't eat the meat. Like that forces me to be disciplined because I followed this lifestyle. I'm following these dietary laws. So it's certain things that I don't eat. People just want to be too free out here for me. People want to be too free. Like freedom is cool to an extent, but hey, having rules and regulations and all of that type of stuff is also good as well. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta stop underestimating the power of having rules and regulations and restrictions. Like sometimes we be too free out here. We be too free. You know what I'm saying? Having restrictions and rules and regulations, man, can take your health up a notch. Instead of you out here feeling like I can eat any and everything that I want. Like, nah, that's your downfall right there. That's detrimental to your health and well-being. Implement some rules, regulations, restrictions, guidelines, whatever it is you want to refer to them as. But that'll do you some good. That'll do you some good. That'll do you some good, man. But people want to be too free out here. I should be able to eat whatever I want to eat. But you can't though. Like your body, your body is not gonna allow that. You know what I'm saying? Your body gonna eventually let you know that you cannot eat whatever it is that you want to eat without suffering. You know, so your body is letting you know that, hey, you need to follow some dietary guidelines around here, man. You can't just be feeding me whatever it is you want to feed me and expect for me to perform at a high level and function at a high level. Like, no, I need certain foods, and it's certain foods that you cannot be placing inside of me without you suffering. I'm gonna start manifesting some illnesses if you keep feeding me these foods. So your body, your mind is letting you know that, hey, nah, you can't eat whatever you want to eat. You can't do that. Some of this stuff, it affects me negatively, and I'm gonna start letting you know. So I'm gonna start manifesting some symptoms, and hopefully you listen. Now, if you don't listen to these so-called minor symptoms, then I'm gonna have to hit you with a big one like cancer, heart attack, stroke, something along those lines. And hopefully you get the point then, like the body literally is communicating with you. The body communicates with the body gonna give you this headache first. Like, hey man, stop eating all of these sweets. Stop eating all this processed food. I'm gonna give you a headache. Hopefully you listen to this headache. All right, now you overlooking the headache. All right, the body like, all right, so the headache, they ain't get the point. So, all right, let me go ahead and get sick for a minute. So you finna come down with a cold because you compromising the immune system. Hopefully you listen and make some changes when I manifest as a cold or when I manifest this cold. Now you survived the cold because you done took all these meds. The body like, all right, you still not listening. All right, man, we finna give him a third shot. Then I'm finna give him gout. I'm gonna manifest as some type of inflammation somewhere, and it's gonna be painful. So hopefully this makes him listen. The third time's a charm, so I hope. So then when you get over the gout because you done took some medication, the body like, all right, man, this food not getting the point. Now it's time for the stroke and heart attack. Now it's time for the stroke and heart attack. And sometimes that stroke and heart attack can be your last one. So if you happen to survive that, then the body like, I really hope you listen. You know what I'm saying? We done gave him the stroke, we done gave him the heart attack, survive. I really hope he listen. And what's sad is a lot of times when that happens, dudes still don't listen. I done seen people get all type of open heart surgeries, have heart attacks, have strokes, survive them joints, and they still do not change the way that they are eating. Dudes think that they can go to the gym and just bench press their way out of a bad diet. You can't do that. You can't outrun a bad diet. Just in peace, what's happening? You can't outrun that bad diet. You can't bench press your way out of a bad diet. That's not going to fix the situation. So when you have a heart condition, when you have a heart problem, like you just going to the gym, exercising and things like that, yeah, that's cool, but that's not all you should be doing. You got to change the way that you eat, or else it's pointless. You going to the gym, man, you putting in all this work just to continue to eat the processed and the junk food and all that type of nonsense. You're really not doing yourself any good. You're really not doing yourself any good at all. And I see that a lot of time, man, and people think that they actually doing something. People think that they actually doing something, man, when they go to the gym, they lift weights, and then they just go eat a bunch of trash. You might as well, listen, you got to reevaluate. You got to step back, hold off on the gym, reevaluate. Get yourself together in that kitchen first. Get yourself together in that kitchen first, man. That is important. That's important, man. Step back, reevaluate. Because you out here feeding yourself food that's tearing down, destroying your heart. And then you working out. You know what I'm saying? You're going to stress that heart out to the point where you might pass out working out. You got to give yourself the proper fuel, man, when you out here exercising and working out. That's crucial. That's important. You can't be feeding yourself the toxic food that's killing you and then go drill yourself on a workout, man. Listen, you may overwork that heart, and that may lead to a heart attack or stroke, or you dying in your sleep. That could result in all of that. So make sure you get yourself together in that kitchen first, man. Get yourself together in that kitchen first. Oh yeah, Lindell, for sure. You said that lazy mentality is terrible. Our car, peace, what's happening? That lazy mentality is terrible. Even when we working out, even when dudes work out, people go to the gym just to say they went to the gym. But most of the time, when you analyze the way that they are moving around in the gym, they moving at a slow pace, like they in the gym chilling, or they at the crib working out chilling. Like you gotta move at a decent pace. You gotta move at a decent rate of speed if you really want to see the results. But a lot of times people just go to the gym just to say they going to the gym. But when you analyze their routine, it's like they ain't doing them, and they just chilling. They in there socializing. They in there taking 20-minute rest breaks in between sets. And then they wonder why their body is not transforming and changing, because the tempo is garbage. You just in there basically just to be saying that I'm in the gym, I go to the gym. But your tempo is horrible. Your tempo is horrible, man. You're not really doing anything, man. So that's part of the problem too. Y'all know me, keep my head on a swivel here. I be seeing these cards. Oh yeah, hey, our carb soursop is definitely peace. I definitely approve of the soursop. Most definitely. Definitely approve. You know, when I see these cars pull up in this joint, man, y'all know I'm live in the gym. So when I see cars pull up, I got to do the knowledge to the car. We don't want to be caught off guard in this joint. But yeah, our cart, man, soursop, I definitely approve. Definitely approve, man. Before that, yeah, my brothers, man, we gotta do better, man, when it comes to like the fruits and veggies and stuff like that, man. We are struggling. Black men, we struggle when it comes to fruits and veggies, man. We do not eat enough fruits and veggies, man. I can speak on experience, man. Dudes, we want to eat everything that's packed with protein. See, that's the problem for dudes, man. We think we gotta eat protein-rich foods all the time. That makes us a man. We gotta eat these protein-rich foods, or else we just not eating out here. Like, nah, stop that. Black Mason, appreciate that donation. What you say? You say my in-laws will eat the food from last night for breakfast every day. They look at me as if I don't like their food, but I can't wake up eating greasy food. And that's sick. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've talked about in previous streams, breakfast, when you breaking the fast, like the morning time is the worst time to be eating heavy meals. That's the worst time to be eating heavy meals. Right when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to sleep. Those are the worst times on the planet to be eating heavy meals. And we tend to do the reverse. We eat heavy meals at night, and then we wake up and we still eating heavy foods. Man, our digestive systems are terrible. That is like one of the worst things you can do is wake up in the morning and break the fast with heavy, greasy foods. Like your digestive system is not ready for that type of, for those type of foods. That is causing all type of destruction. That's causing all type of destruction for the digestive system when you eat greasy, heavy foods first thing in the morning. And that's what we have been programmed to believe that we must do. Wake up in the morning, supposed to have a big, healthy breakfast is what they call it. And that's sick. Like, I can't even fathom anymore. I can't even fathom it. I can't even stomach eating a large breakfast. Like, that don't even make any sense to me. Like, I can't even do it anymore. Like, I can't do it. Like, I cannot eat heavy in the morning. Like, I used to have to force myself to do it back in the day because I thought that this is what we were supposed to do. But now, like, it just don't even make any sense to my stomach and mind. Like, my mind can't even fathom eating a bunch of food in the morning. Like, no, that's going to wear me down. Hence the reason why a lot of people be at work barely functioning, because they done had this heavy food in the morning. And then they drinking the coffee with it, laced with all type of sugars, sweeteners, and creamers and all that. and wonder why they need 3 jugs of this, 3 little containers of the coffee. Dude, you eating heavy foods. You're drinking this coffee that's laced with a bunch of nonsense. Then you have lunch, your lunch break. You eat more toxic foods. Like, dude, like you gonna be tired. You gonna be tired. Whole while I'm running circles around you, and all I had was some fruits and some water. I'm eating light. You eat light foods, and you eat the light foods that give you life. Like you gonna have energy. Gonna have energy. Like these people will get more sleep than me. I might be having 4 or 5 hours of sleep. They get 7 or 8, and they still needing the coffee. I don't need anything but the fruit and the water, and I'm good to roll. I'm running circles around. Oh God, you already know, Queen. Definitely be aware of your surroundings. And you say mindset of an introvert. I know it's off topic, but what's your thoughts on the Israelites? Yeah, back in the day, I used to get into it with a lot of Israelite brothers. They were not my favorite people back in the day, man. And it did not stem from me going out trying to find that type of smoke. It'll be like when I post something, the thing about those brothers where they were overly aggressive in trying to tell you that your way of life is wrong, or the way you are interpreting something when it came to the Bible is wrong. And then they would always be trying to convert you over to their way of life and their way of seeing things. So I used to get fed up with that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So I used to get into it with them. I used to go back and forth with a lot of them. Now, you know what I'm saying, I'm able to respect the ones that respect me and my way of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I am with all of these different coaches and groups. If you come to me with respect, then I'm respecting you. If you respect my way of life, then I respect yours. You know what I'm saying? So now it's you know what I'm saying, a decent amount of Israelite brothers that I've come in contact with, that I've come across that support me, and I support them. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to talk bad about each other's culture and whatnot. We don't have to argue and yell at each other and all of this type of stuff and point out why we feel like the way that you living is wrong. So now I got, you know what I'm saying, I got a few Israelite people that I rock with that I respect. But back then, I used to get into it with a lot of them. In all honesty. Oh, Terrell, for sure, definitely got to eat to live, man. Like Elijah Muhammad gave us the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Eat to live. But we living to eat. Clocks in for sure. I'm telling you, that's one of my best decisions I've ever made. One of the best decisions I've ever made, man, going vegan, man. One of the best decisions I ever made. Because on the path that I was on, man, if I wouldn't have made that decision, I wouldn't have probably lasted too long. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't have lasted too long, man. I was already experiencing a lot of ailments at 18 and 19 from the way that I was eating. You know what I'm saying? Random nosebleeds, constant headaches. Man, I'm talking about immune system was garbage, so I'm always getting sick. Like, I was facing all of that at 18, 19. So if I would have continued on down that path, I wouldn't have made it too much longer. I wouldn't have made it too much longer, man. So that's one of the best decisions that I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, one of the best decisions. And that's why I be trying to get my fellow brothers on board with plant-based, going vegan, or just, man, minimizing the consumption of meat. I'm telling you, man, I know the positive benefits, man. I know the type of rewards, man, that you will reap by making that decision. I just be wanting to see my brothers out here be great, man. We need to stick around, yo. You know what I'm saying? We got to stick around. We got to be here, man. Again, we supposed to be the strength of the nation. But a lot of us are weak, man, due to the fact of how we are eating. LN, peace, what's the word? Yeah, mindset, man. Yeah, that's a whole nother video for me. That's a whole nother video, boy. That's a whole nother video. But I can definitely talk about that though. That's a whole nother video. Marlon, you say just heard from a doctor that food causes 70% of illnesses. I'm listening. Hey, yes, sir. And then on top of that, it's 2 things. So the food, man, whew, man, you about to get me started on that. I'm literally glad you said that, because again, people do not know that association. So a lot of times when we start talking about viruses, illnesses, sicknesses, and things along those lines, man, a lot of people feel like, man, because I've had people come to me and they say, well, you can't reverse everything, you can't prevent everything with changing your diet. They think that I'm saying that that's the end all be all, that's the only answer. I say, no, it's not the only answer, but it's a very good answer. It's a very good approach. Changing the way that you eating can change a lot in regards to preventing these conditions and reversing these conditions. But again, they have brainwashed us into believing otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So when we get plagued with a virus, we already conditioned to say, well, the way that I eat ain't got anything to do with me coming down with this virus. The way that I eat ain't got anything to do with me recovering faster from this virus. So we have already disconnected from that outlook and perspective. Oh, wow, our ancestors knew this link. You know what I'm saying? They give a lot of credit to Hippocrates and whatnot. Call him the father of medicine and say, let thy food be thy medicine. This dude was trained by black people. Imhotep is where he originally stole that from. But they give all the credit to the white folks. You already know. They take a Hippocratic oath. First, I should do no harm or whatever it is, however it go. Like they take this Hippocratic oath or whatever the case may be, and they got that from the Egyptians. They got that from our people. You know what I'm saying? But they not going to give us that credit. But you will see something say, let thy food be thy medicine, and you will see Hippocrates as if he coined that phrase. He did not. Imhotep was letting you know, let thy food be thy medicine, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? So that's our slogan. That's how we were living. He went to the ancient Egyptian mystery school to learn from us and came out with that information, came out with that quote. You know what I'm saying? So again, give us the credit, but they don't do that. So they got people all in these medical institutions taking the Hippocratic oath, which they don't go by that oath because that oath is telling them that they should do no harm. Every time that they give people these medications and these jabs, they are causing harm. That goes against the very Hippocratic oath that they are sworn to take. But they not following their own oath. They are causing all type of harm when they do these surgeries. A lot of these surgeries are unnecessary. I got a book called Reversing Heart Disease that shows and proves that. Get that book, man, Reversing Heart Disease. I think that's Dean Ornish. Let you know that a low-fat vegan lifestyle can reverse and prevent heart disease. And they did tests, man. And y'all done heard me talk about the tests. They put people to sleep. The people woke up, and these people had heart conditions. They put the people to sleep. The people woke up, and they told them that the surgery was a success. And just by them simply telling the people that the surgery was a success was enough for the people to see drastic improvements. They didn't perform any surgery. They just told them that it was successful. And them simply believing that they had a successful surgery was enough for them to see improvements in their heart condition. But see, this is the type of stuff they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know how powerful your mind is, placebo. They don't want you to know how powerful the food is. They want you to be dependent upon the meds. They want you to be dependent upon these pills. They want you to be dependent upon these surgeries, these treatments. That's what they do. They treat it. They say they can't cure it, but they can treat it. They can treat the symptoms, not cure the symptoms, not get rid of the symptoms. They say we can treat it. We can treat it. The wife is in the building. Y'all say peace to the wife. Oh, Jay, for sure. For sure. Oh, Terrell, most definitely. Matter of fact, give me a few days, like literally, give me like 2 days to post that link for my website because I actually just got my powders in. I got my ingredients. So I'm about to make my powders, man, my immune boosting powders. These powders are good for the immune system. So once I go retrieve my ingredients, which they are here, I just got to go get them. I'm about to make a batch of my immune powders, and I'm gonna put them on my website along with the apparel, man. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put that link once I get these powders up. So if you want some of that immune boosting powder, man, I'm finna have my first batch made within these next few days. So I got you for sure. I got you. Yeah, just yeah, that heavy meat consumption, that uric acid, which is why that's associated with gout, which is why a lot of black men get gout because they consume a lot of meat and they drink a lot of alcohol. That's like the formula for gout. I mean, literally, any honest doctor, any honest person that's in the health, they will let you know that, hey, the cause of your gout is the uric acid, and the way that uric acid is being manifested and produced is because you consuming a lot of meat, and you drinking a lot of alcohol. They'll let you know. They will let you know. Hey, Era 9, peace, what's happening? Michael, for sure, man. Y'all know health is near and dear to the brother, man. So I'm always speak about health every now and then, for sure. All clocks in, for sure, man. That's what I'm telling you, man, a vegan lifestyle, man, is righteous, man. It's very righteous. Makes you feel good. Thunder Scorpion, my brother, peace, what's happening? Yeah, Jay. I mean, there's several keys. I might add more keys to that. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, obviously change the way that you eat. You know what I'm saying? Obviously make sure you properly hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Meditate. Make sure you stretching. Obviously make sure you getting the rest and all of that good stuff, man. And then just the environment. Make sure you surround yourself with positive people in positive spaces. You know what I'm saying? So your environment is key as well. You know, so that's very important, man. That environment, we sleep on that environment. We sleep on it. Marlon, that doctor right there, whoever that doctor is, right and exact. Right and exact. And War, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Slow and steady wins the race, man. At least you making some changes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers, a lot of sisters out here, they not even making the changes. So at least you making the changes. At least you doing something. That's all I can ask. At least we doing something. I'm different for sure. Hey, you say is weed bad? Man, I stay away from the weed conversation because I personally don't smoke. You know, the people that do it, hey, listen, weed is much better than alcohol. You could be doing a lot worse, a lot worse than weed. I just say don't use it as a crutch. You know what I'm saying? That's all I say when it comes to the weed, man. But I actually was doing a knowledge to a Rastafarian brother, and he was dropping some jewels about smoking the weed and how it's detrimental and dangerous, and how you should actually consume the weed opposed to smoking it. So basically, you should eat the weed opposed to smoking it. Eat the herb. You know what I'm saying? I was doing the knowledge to a Rastafarian brother, man, and that's what he was on. He was like, man, it's better to consume the herb, eat the herb instead of smoke it. You know, so hey, I don't know, man. I tend to stay away from that because it's not something that I do. But I have watched a few people that's knee deep into smoking or used to be, and they stopped and they kind of give their reasons as to why they did. But like I said, you could be doing a lot worse out here. Much rather you smoke the weed than drink the alcohol. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot worse that you could be doing. Just don't use it as a crutch. Don't become dependent upon it like you need it to function. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes problematic. Builder of truth. The carnivore diet, I don't fool with it at all. I do not fool with it at all, not even close. Same with like the keto, all I don't fool with those joints at all, not even close. Just not even close. Just not even, listen, not even close. Like I'm the carnivore, me and carnivore, just not even close. I will never co-sign that. I will never approve of that because I once was that. You know what I'm saying? That's the one way that I was eating. You know what I'm saying? I can vouch for that being very detrimental to myself. Very detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I was living when I was 17, 18, and when I had all of those ailments that I have mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So I'm adamantly against that type of diet, but they definitely pushing it a lot. You know, so I'm adamantly against that. I'm adamantly against that carnal. Yeah, I'm against that, man. I don't fool with keto. I don't fool with diets at all. You know what I'm saying? I fool with lifestyle changes. Yeah, I fool with lifestyle changes, man. I don't fool with diets at all. Fool with lifestyle change, man. You must make a lifestyle change. So I don't like to refer to things as diet, but when I say that, I'm speaking in layman's terms so y'all can understand kind of where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. You know, so that's why I tend to use the word diet, but I really don't like that word. And I don't like anything that's associated with a diet, you know. So it's all about making the proper lifestyle changes, man. That's what it's all about. But nah, I don't fool with the carnivore. I don't fool with the no. I don't fool with the carnivore diet. I don't fool with the keto joint. I don't fool with the caveman diet. Like I don't fool with any of that. The paleo diet. I don't fool with any of that. I don't fool with any of that at all. Don't recommend it. Don't suggest it. Got a million reasons as to why. But as men, like I've said, that's the way we have been programmed to eat. Builder of truths, but I was eating Chinese. What Chinese food you talking about? Like I said, I can't even tell you the last time I ever ate Chinese food. I was eating Chinese food back when I was eating a bunch of everything else, but not I don't eat Chinese food no more. If you referring to the Chinese food that when they open up shops in our community like the fried rice joints, no. Clocks in. They gonna give you some so-called solid reasonings as to why they are doing it. And I didn't been there, done that. Yeah, they gonna give you some solid reasonings as to why they are doing it. But the sustainability, the sustainability of that type of lifestyle, you always when you implement something like that, you always got to look at the long-term ramifications behind it. You got to look at the long-term ramifications behind it. Like somebody like keto and the carnivore, like it's not sustainable long-term. It's not healthy long-term. It may actually get you where you need to be as far as your weight for the brief period of time that you own it, but it's not sustainable, nor is it healthy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people look at weight loss like simply just losing the weight is healthy in and of itself. No, the way you go about losing the weight is also part of the equation as well. Things to factor in. Brady, you say I stopped eating their food 2 years ago, tired of them disrespecting our people. Hey, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. For real. Like that's right and exact though. You know what I'm saying? Like these people be straight disrespecting our communities. You know what I'm saying? And you chop it up with them, like I said, when we talking about the fried rice joints, like they do not eat that. Like they don't eat that. Like they feed it to us, but they don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like that's crazy. We're gonna feed it to them. We're gonna kill them. We don't eat it though. Like this ain't our traditional way of eating. We don't eat this. We don't eat the fried rice. Like this is not how we live. But we gonna give it to them though. Like that's disrespectful. That's like me going into the Asian community and thinking of the most unhealthy meal that I can think of, making it popular in the Asian community, and then just selling it to them whole while I know it's killing them. Like, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, man. I don't be too much rocking with it, man. That's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful. 100% disrespectful, man. They can get on it. They can get on with that, man. They can get on with that, man. But we go right into their businesses, man. We go right into their businesses, man. That's where we go. All right, man. I'm finna go get this rice. What we call it the Chinaman here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go right to the Chinaman. We're gonna go right to the Chinaman. Finna get the rice. Like we keeping them in business. We keeping them in business for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You analyze what they eat compared to what they feeding us, what they selling to us, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But I literally had an Asian person tell me, like, we do not eat fried rice. Like, we don't eat this. Like, we don't eat like this, but you all do, you know? Like, literally, I've had one of them actually tell me this. So once you tell me that, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you just out here capitalizing on our unhealthy habits. That's what's up. I no longer want to fool with that. Oh, nice, man. People don't understand that connection, man. Like, they be going crazy. Builder of truth, man. I hear it, man. But for the most part, when people, a lot of times, man, people say the vegetarian or the vegan thing didn't work for them. They did not do it properly. It's a way that you got to do it. Plus, it's a part of that process that you gonna feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna detox, like your body is cleansing itself when you go vegan and vegetarian, man. And for the most part, like I tell people, you're gonna feel worse before you feel better. But a lot of people can't handle that worse. It's almost like when people fast. When people start fasting initially, they get headaches, they feel weak, they feel like they finna faint and die, and they feel like fasting ain't for them. No, like that, those signs are not actually bad signs. It's bad signs in the sense that it's letting you know how toxic the body is and was, but it's good that now your body is releasing all of that. So a lot of times, man, when people say that they went vegetarian and vegan and it didn't work out for them, I simply ask them, how did they go about it? And I immediately get my answer as to why it didn't work. Immediately. Like, it doesn't even take me long. Once they make the first two things that they say that they start doing, I'm like, that's why it didn't work for you. So it's not that it's not for you. It's just you probably went about it incorrectly, because we all have to transition to it in a different manner, in a different way, because we all different. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to figure out what your body needs the most. And then you got to make sure you getting the vegetarian or the plant-based version of that. So it's a lot of different things that you have to factor in. But for the most part, you definitely going to have that moment to where you feel horrible, where you feel like, man, I'm finna die when you make that transition to the vegetarian and vegan lifestyle. I literally was sick for about a week or two. Yeah, see, builder of truth, that's not true. You actually were not hungry. Because I said you can go weeks without eating any type of physical food. You can go longer without physical food than you can go without water, and you can go longer with, like, you can go longer without water than you can go without oxygen, without air. But like, if you ate some food, and I don't care what it is that you consume, if you ate some food 2 or 3 hours ago, and then you think 2 or 3 hours later that you are hungry, no. Especially if you analyze your body fat. If you step on a scale and you got 15, 20, 25% body fat, and you think that you hungry after you just consumed something 2 or 3 hours ago, that's false. Because your body got all of this body fat for a reason. That's the reason why it preserves the body fat. So if you got 20% body fat, there is no way that you were hungry, especially after you just ate some food 3 hours ago. That's the reason why your body stores the body fat, because it can feed off of this body fat in times where you are not eating. So that's why I was saying hunger is more so something that revolves around conditioning and programming. It's certain things that you associate with hunger. And when you come across these triggers, it sends off these signals. It's certain things that you associate with fullness. So when you're not eating these things, now that signal, those signals, those hunger pains are manifesting, because you associate meat with fullness. So it's like, if you're not eating that meat, then your mind, you're not full. And so your mind is going to accept that reality. So when you make that transition and you eliminate the meat, it's like it feels like something is missing. So your body is like, hey, something is missing. You eliminated something, man. I like, something is missing. You got to fill that void with a food that gives you the amount of protein that the meat was giving you. That's all that was happening. So it wasn't that it wasn't for you. It was that you eliminated something and didn't replace it properly. So when you eliminate the meat, what you are eliminating is protein, and you are eliminating fat. So you eliminated the meat, but you didn't replace it with the proper amount of protein in a vegetarian fashion that you needed. So that's why your body was sending off those hunger signals, or your body and mind. It was like, man, something is missing, man. I'm used to eating I'm used to eating this amount of protein at each meal. I'm not getting it now. I'm gonna send off a signal. So it wasn't that you was hungry. It's that your body was just used to eating a certain type of way, getting a certain amount of protein at each meal, and it stopped getting that. So your body was confused. Like, what's happening? What's happening? I gotta suggest that he eat more. So the stomach gonna growl. So you wasn't hungry. It was just programming and conditioning. Your body was used to something and you changed it up. The body don't like change. The body likes to stick to a routine. So you changed it up on the body. So that's why I say when you make that transition, man, you're gonna feel worse before you feel better, because your body gotta adjust to this new habit. You gotta give the body time to adjust to this vegetarian, this vegan lifestyle, because it wasn't used to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be sending off these signals because it only knows what it was used to. So people misinterpret the signals and the signs all the time and say, well, this wasn't for me. It wasn't that it wasn't for you. You just didn't give your body enough time to adjust. That's all that it is. Like, that's all that it is 100% of the time. So I guarantee you, if you would have added more protein in a plant-based fashion, you would have been good. Oh, builder of truth, for sure. Like I said, you can easily reach like a weight loss goal going on that type of lifestyle. But I'm talking about thinking that the lifestyle wasn't for you because you felt like you was always hungry. Like, again, hunger, like you not hungry if you are eating food throughout the day. That is actually impossible. Like, you would have to literally go weeks for your body to actually be hungry. And this is how it was broken down to me. A lot of times, the thing of it is, it's not hunger, you have an appetite. Big difference there. Like, if you was actually hungry or like starving, if you were to point of starvation, a lot of people be like, I'm starving. I read a book that said, next time somebody tells you that they starving, offer them a piece of lettuce and see if they eat it. Most of the time, they're not going to eat that lettuce because they're not really starving. If you starving, you're going to eat any and everything. If you starving, you're not about to be picky about what it is that you consume. So most of the time we tell ourselves that we starving, like, go eat some lettuce. You're not going to eat lettuce. You're going to eat something that you want to eat because you're not actually starving and hungry. You have an appetite. You have a craving. So it's certain foods that you want to eat. That's normally what's happening. Like, if you truly starving, man, it don't matter what if something is edible and it's in front of you, you're going to eat it. That's when you have truly reached the point of starvation. That's when you have reached that point. So a lot of times, like I said, we misinterpret it. We misinterpret an appetite or a craving for like true hunger and starvation. And that's not what it is. Having an appetite, like, that's programming, that's conditioning. Means you can eat, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to eat. So that's the difference. That's the difference. It's all programmed, man. Anytime you change up the way that you eat and eliminate something that was a major staple in your diet, like, yeah, your body gonna send off that hunger signal a lot. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Man, Ray, they be doing it dirty. I think ever since I gave you the the wrench, you done been all bad on the notifications. Ever since we gave you the wrench, man. But y'all, with that being said, man, my client just pulled up right on time. You know what I'm saying? I train the white folks. White folks be early. White folks be on time. You know what I'm saying? Dude, 2 minutes early. But you know what I'm saying? That's how the white folks operate, man. I operate straight African time. Long as I get there, we good. You know what I'm saying? Just be happy that I came, man. But the white folks, they be straight early for no reason. But with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and tap out for the day, man. I may tap in with y'all tomorrow. If not, definitely tap in with y'all on Monday, man. But I'm going to go ahead and get this gym ready for this session. Y'all be easy. Y'all enjoy this Saturday. And if I don't see y'all tomorrow, y'all definitely enjoy the Sunday. Peace.